Camera's live.
Yes, he is. Patrick is talking.
All right, one more thing. You guys know what this is? One of these things? I use that to align up I have my exterior audio here, and then I have my camera audio there. And I align the two clips because when you make the clack, it's a very loud, very brief noise, and then it's very easy to know on both tracks of audio where to line them up, just in case you guys decide to become filmmakers after you become game developers. Yeah. So, actually I'm gonna go like this. I think everything's good to go, yeah.
You got the audio cable? Yeah, you got it?
Yeah, I don't really need any audio, I'll just do my...
In the event.
Yeah, okay. Alrighty, I think we're good. How you guys liking the camp? Yeah? That's good. This is my fifth year, I think, coming here talking. So, the point of today's speech, I'm gonna describe to you guys a few things that you may not think you're already capable of doing. And this class has given you a very strong foundation for potentially a career in programming or development or even being an entrepreneur, and we'll get into that. You guys know more about code now than I did when I was 20. And I work full-time writing code, and I picked it up at university. So you guys are already miles ahead of people lay people who don't know about this stuff. So if you like it and you choose to stick with it, you could go really far, and it's really valuable knowledge. All right, now let's actually move into this. Today's agenda, we're gonna talk about me the entire time and nothing else. So I'm not even gonna talk about games or something. No, we're gonna talk about who I am, what I do for fun, and what I do for work. And then we're gonna get talking about how code or Java exists in the real world. And then we're gonna get philosophical. We're gonna talk about what makes a good game, what makes something enjoyable, a user experience enjoyable, and then I'm going to ask you guys a very, very powerful question. If you could create anything, what would you create? So that's kind of where this whole entrepreneur thing comes in for you guys. Like, you have a lot at your fingertips now in this world. So the whole point of today's discussion is being able to break down things that seem hard and impossible into one-line questions that can be answered with one line of code or something, right? That's all that software is. Alrighty. I am Patrick Crosman. Patrick James Ernest Crosman. And this graphic here is a representation of everything I do for fun. We can start on the left. I made a video game. It was for Windows Phone back before those things just became paperweights. And it was done for a Great Canadian Apathon. Anybody know what an Apathon is? A hackathon? Yeah. It's where a bunch of like-minded, really cool nerds sit in a room for a weekend without sleeping until a game exists. And then you submit it, and it gets judged by other people, and at the end, you've created something that you'll remember forever. So I love it. If you get a chance to ever go, Startup Edmonton does them. In fact, they even do some for people that aren't adults. But second one there, that's another game we made. And then moving to the right in the center, those two 3D models are ones I built those models, and they're being animated with motion capture. So I collected that motion with sensors and all that, and it was really fun at university. And then I couldn't get a job with that stuff, so I ended up going into software, because there's work in software. Right, you guys aren't dealing with the economy pinch right now. You're just eating your parents' food. That makes sense. Who has a job yet? Have you guys had any jobs yet? Yeah? I had my first job. Oh, hey, that's good. If you stack up a resume worth of just volunteered at this and that, basically, if you're in a position where you're responsible for anything, that's helping you out in the future. My first job was at a farmer's market, and I sold fruit to crazy old people. Then I was also a hockey ref where crazy hockey parents yelled at me. Both good jobs. On the right there is me doing stand-up comedy at the comic strip, and below that is a narcissistic headshot so that I can apply for auditions and get stand-up comedy shows. And then beside that picture is me doing a flip on skis because I'm not mentally stable, and the broken bone beside that is my broken arm. I can't turn this arm anymore. I get locked off at here. It's because I went for like a hand plant 3 on a spine, basically a side flip, but I didn't tap my hand at the top of the spine, so my center of gravity just kept going up, and then I fell from about 8 feet and I exploded my elbow right here. And there's like 3 pounds of metal in here, and I can't turn it, but I still do chin-ups. It's all good. You gotta move forward in life, guys. What do I do now? I am employed by IBM, and I'm contracted to the Alberta government. I work for Human Services, and the bulk of the work I do is involved with regression testing and performance testing. Performance testing is an analysis of what an application is able to sustain, the load it's able to hold. If you guys think about Facebook, at any given time, 2 billion people could be liking things and uploading pictures of babies or whatever, and it's constantly being stressed, constantly being jammed. And if 1,000 people, if one of their servers, like they got like a whole farm of them, if one of them goes down or something like that, if they didn't plan for all that stuff, then you'd have 10,000 people being like, I can't want to like this photo, but I can't, and it's super important. So that sort of analysis is what I do for them. They have a smaller user community model because it's all just the 1,000 government employees that they have for the area, and then I simulate the work that they're doing with something a lot like those bots that you have to when you get like a CAPTCHA and you have to enter in words that don't make any sense so that you can submit something or download something. The reason those exist is because people like me can write scripts that use websites. So like I can write little robots that just crawl through websites and do stuff, and that's a big part of my job, and that's why it's really fun and compelling to me, because I get to breathe life into these little things instead of a boring government job. I love working. I really do. Even though I have like monthly performance reviews of my own where I have a boss going, how far along are you with this? But it's just part of it. Anyway, regression testing that I do is, have you guys, so you're writing your code right now, have you ever made your code really perfect and beautiful and it was doing what you needed to, but then you needed to add like one extra condition in there, and then that new line of code makes your whole app not an app anymore? That is because the development you just did regressed the project. Progression, regression. I can't moonwalk, but so the regression testing I do is I make a bunch of singular kind of smart robots that crawl through looking for expected results. For example, when you post something on Facebook, just check whether or not it showed up on that wall, or when you post your comment, does it show up there? Or for my software, when a caseworker submits something, does their supervisor receive the task for them to go approve this record? It's all jargon, but it's oh shucks, my camera ran out of memory. I'm sorry guys, this will take 1 second. Regression testing is just things walking through, trying to check what it's supposed to do, and that's nothing too fancy. But every day I use Java. Every single day I'm typing out Java. I got a pop quiz. Does anyone know what a Pojo is? I'll give you a clue. Well, Of course you should.
It's not worth me to.
Yeah.
You go.
What's okay? The first two letters stand for plain old. And you guys are taking a course in the second last letter. Yeah. And then Java. Huh? Objects. Plain old Java objects. Literally, if you make a file that's called .java, sorry?
Practically everything in Java is an object.
Exactly. Yeah. I use all of the stuff that I design, that I work with. It's all object-oriented stuff, and it's really fascinating. As I said earlier, I get to design. Usually, when I'm working on this stuff, I'm working independently, and I'm building software that goes against to test other software, which to me is really fun because.
To the right of you is this veil there. It has a down arrow.
Yep. Cool.
And then after that, sweep your hand over your laptop.
Oh, you mean like?
The actual thing, yeah. The projector.
Oh, wait.
Go on to sleep.
Oh, this guy. Please wait while the video projector cools down.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, at work, like I said, I'm typing out Java, but mostly I'm just looking at my computer going, why isn't this working? A lot of the times. It's like I need to do something and it's not doing it, and then I go and I research and keep going at it. Anything that you just keep doing, you gotta constantly learn. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, I was hoping it would pop up and then I could jump in.
Give you like 8 seconds. It should pop up pretty soon.
Cool.
It's booting.
Oh, it's booting still? Okay. Oh, sweet. Cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm often in developer forums. I'm reading books. This, I think you guys get what I'm up to. It's, the thing I'm trying to say is that I don't actually know how to do my job every time I'm doing it. Like, if somebody ever proposes a thing for you to do in a project, and you're like, I've never done that, I don't know if I'm the guy, you probably are, or girl. You know, not gotta stop gendering my statements. Okay. In the boring real world, code is everywhere, just like Pokemon. They are. It's absolutely everywhere. You go to a hospital, you can't escape legacy Java applications that are so old the Java's actually turned into coffee beans or something. I don't know. There's a record. Every time you go to the hospital, there's a record of you getting, you know, my arm surgery, all of this, right? And that's stored in a database, and that database is fueled by some Java front end, which is, you know, pumping everything there, and then it's stored, and then it's backed up, right? I want to talk about, on the next slide, I'm going to bring up Mr. Lube and sort of their software model, which is, I chose Mr. Lube mostly because it's, everybody's probably sat in the car. Have you ever sat in the car where your parents goes to get their oil changed? Like, ever? Yeah? And then you drive in, and the guy's like, hey, have you been here before? And the guy's like, yeah. And then he pulls up the profile, and he says, looks like you haven't changed your unicorn in 3 months. That'll be $6,000. We can put a new one in just like that. The reason that is, so for you guys who haven't, I guess for those of you who don't spend time in cars with your parents, there's, you go into Mr. Lube, and they ask for your license plate, or well, they take your license plate, and that license plate represents the key to your profile. And then in that profile, you're a customer, and now they have all this data about what they've, what car you have, how long it's been since you've had your last oil change, this and that, right? And then they also have information from like stock information from the dealerships of each car. Each car has its own attributes, right? And so then it says, oh, well, with this Toyota Highlander, I know this stuff's kind of dry. We're going somewhere with this, I promise. Each car has all these things that their software is looking through, and it says, oh, X miles, he's got 100,000. Last time he did this thing, it's going to be, it looks like now he needs a new air filter. So that software, every time that you come in, it's running a bunch of customer checks that are in the best interest of either the business or their vision of what a customer feels is a good experience with the business. So to break this chart down, the foot represents a person who is carrying their car over their head into a Mr. Lube. The joke went over way better with the last group, but someone driving into the store, and then there's this guy who we'll talk about after. But you enter the store physically. They pull up the customer program, their customer loyalty. There's shop operations, and then on this other side of the divider, you can see the different types of data. And if you guys can imagine, you can think about how this stuff would be objects, or how would you would have a customer object. That customer has a name, has an identifier, has been here this many times, usually goes to this location, has been to all these locations, right? So you can imagine a Java file with all that stuff, right? Like that's putting together what a person represents. And then we've got employees, which would be similar to a person, but they get paid, they have an address and all that. And then there's inventory. Every time that they draw a liter of oil in, they have to go say, we used a liter of oil, we only have 600 liters of oil every week, we have to make another order when we get down to 10. And software is controlling all that. It's not some guy checking the oil vat, right? Those are checks that are happening with the software. And I challenge you guys to go out from moving forward. When you look at a piece of software, when you're at Save On or someone is typing into a computer, just think about what that software is doing. First of all, for your own security, because they might be taking your data and selling it. But you can try and break the functionality of any software you see in the world. Just try and break it down. Not at a level where you'd be writing out fields and trying to pseudocode a database or something, but this represents everything that happens in a Mr. Lube. And the schedule. Anyway, and so then everything that happens there gets bundled up and sent over to the branch. All that branch data gets sent over to the corporate headquarters. And then the corporate headquarters has a whole bunch of branches, franchises that are maintained by each person, right? And then that headquarters uses that data to be able to plan future initiatives, maintain their branches, and create a website, and so that people, when they search for Mr. Lube, they can do stuff, right? And then this light bulb represents somebody with some money who wants to start a franchise. And then they go directly to the corporate headquarters, and then they get a franchise. And this is a very simplified version, but if you do this kind of analysis with any piece of software that you find interesting or useful, you can go a long ways with it. You can learn a lot about how it works. Oh, getting philosophical with you guys. What makes a good app? What do you think? What's an app that you use every day, right now, on your phone? Pokemon Go, yeah?
It doesn't just end.
Yeah, it doesn't just end, exactly. Yeah, it can grow, user can develop. Anybody else about a game or, a timer, like an app that just times stuff? Or sets an alarm, right? Like that's a good app. It wakes me up in the morning. Anyway, so if we look at Pong, it's super simple, but you can infinitely have fun with somebody because the two of you are going to be going and, I'm better than you or whatever. You can get better at it because you can learn more about how the game mechanics work or whatever. You can grow. And it's also very simple and easy to pick up. Now, it satisfies a need. That's the two things that I said, is that software should be easy to figure out and serve a purpose. Now, keep going back to this whole entrepreneur thing about you guys can do a whole lot more than you think you can. Now, if you could create any single app, anything in the world, what would you create? If you just had unlimited resources, what thing in your day is annoying that you think a phone app or a website could help? Anybody? Nothing? You guys wake up and you love every minute of life with the technology. Hey? Somebody said last time they wish they could make an app that stopped time and then they could sleep more, and I thought that would probably use a lot of data. Yeah. Oh, darn. That makes sense too. You guys sleep at home more than I do. So, you guys really can create anything. Like, with a team, if you took 10 of you guys and literally spent 6 months trying to just put together some project, you could do it, given what you know and your propensity to learn. It's daunting because every single task becomes complicated, and when you just look at Pokemon Go, you think, how does this exist? This is incredible. There's so much happening. Even if you look at Flappy Bird, there's a lot going on there, right? But once you break those down into the components, then all of a sudden it just becomes a series of questions that you answer. I got a question for you guys. It's an ancient Chinese proverb. How do you eat an elephant? Anybody? Yeah. Slowly. Yeah? Yeah? Okay, yeah.
One bite at a time.
That's it. That's the answer. You get an A+ in this course today. Yeah. Everybody else gets an A for being attentive. Okay. Yeah. You eat an elephant one bite at a time. Or you invite all your friends over and you chop up an elephant into tiny cubes and you have a barbecue and you eat the elephant and then you don't talk about it after. This is bad memory. No, you guys have different parties than I did. Okay. Do you guys know what a minimum viable product is? Have you ever heard that term? Well, in the business, we like to call that an MVP. It's your app without anything superfluous, anything unnecessary. So you take out the beautiful graphics, the backgrounds, the timers, the points, or some. You just have a representation of your character moving across a screen. Now, I guess you guys aren't building games or whatever, but you are making software, and you can see, right, how you can simplify something. So we got Mario, we got a character. I imagine the first time that they played Mario on someone's like in the developer's room or whatever, it probably looked a lot like that and a lot less like that until they had their art team come in and whatever. So if you make a game that looks like that and plays and it's fun to play, you're on the right path. And that's really with anything. And it's not a game. It can be simplified to a game, or it can be anything that people use. It's cut out the garbage. What do you need to have there for it to do? So, or to exist. And the way that you figure out what your minimum viable requirement is composed of is by asking a whole bunch of questions about what it is that you're trying to make. And the answer to those questions are your requirements. Your requirements are what your app is required to do. It's something that it has to do. So if you make a calculator app, it needs to be able to take two numbers, add them together, and divide them together. Be able to do functions, right? And every single piece of your software should be traceable back to requirements. So, if Mario needs to be able to move left, that's just like an answer to the question, how do we make him move across the screen? That question just goes from, I guess we make him move left and right, and he should also be able to jump. And then it's like, okay, well, how do we make him move left and right? Well, we could use the left button on the key, and we could use the jump button. Okay, well, how high does he jump? Well, I don't know, it's what makes sense, right? And then it's just questions and questions and questions. And eventually, the answers to those questions are lines of code. And that's ideally with a comment above them saying what the code is doing. No, you guys write perfectly clean code? Okay. All right. Requirements are a big, if you ever hear the term business analyst, people make a lot of money to figure out what things are required for boring software. Let's talk about Pong. I'm sure you guys have played it or some rip-off version from iTunes for free. What are some things that the paddle has to do? Mm-hmm.
Needs to move up and down the screen.
Yeah, movement, yeah. You got a hand up? Oh, she got it. Yeah, pretty simple what the paddle can do. Uh-huh.
Move at certain speeds.
Yes. Now, let's think about the environment and the paddle. So, what does the environment have to do? Kind of a weird question to think about it, but what is the environment doing? Yeah.
Keeping the paddle inside.
That's right. That's right. There's restraints. There's a constraint of like how it's the size of your screen. It's that big, right? And so, yeah. Now, what about the ball? You already said it's got to bounce off. Well, how do we know what angle it bounces off back at, right? Well, you'd have to, it's a calculation, and that boils down to some complicated code. But really, it's the ball needs to go from here to here and come back. And once you cross the outside of the environment with the ball, that's a point for whoever didn't just get crossed. Yeah. So let's see what I filled out, right? So yeah, some questions, right? Like for the paddle, how big's the paddle? How big, how fast can it move? Exactly. Same with the ball. What happens when it hits? Did I miss anything in that last slide? I didn't ask any questions about the environment, but is there anything here that I'm not listing? Is there a fourth element on this screen that you see? Yeah, you.
The score?
The score is not up there. Yeah, that's right. That's I left that up because I wanted to see who's paying attention, and you are. You got another A+. No, I left it out because chances are when they first made Pong for the first time, they probably didn't have a score for the first while until they said, "Oh, hey, we're almost done. Let's put in the heavy-duty score mechanics and make this a real game." Okay, I moved past that already. Oh yeah, that too. So yeah, the points. That's the end of my speech. I asked if I could stay until 3:15, so I'll probably try and be out of here by 10 after 3. We have a good amount of time though. I want to do a workshop now. I want to break apart the game Pokemon Go with you guys. How many of you play? Yeah? Oh, okay. That's more than half. That's good.